down again.
Hello, my name is Melissa. Check 1, check 2.
Welcome to Nerd Talk, where we talk about everything I want to talk about and nothing Melissa wants to talk about.
That's not true.
Because I think all of our stuff is stupid.
It's not. It's actually really.
I don't like her opinions.
His opinions are sometimes valid, sometimes they are absolutely not valid.
She's right. -5 times out of 10.
No.
My opinion.
No, not wrong that many times.
Quick, we just watched the Fast and Furious 7 trailer, and my beef with the trailer was they reveal way too much. Where he's running up the bus that's going off the cliff, and he jumps. I think they should have stopped it right there. He jumps and catches the spoiler as the car is swinging around the cliff. I can't imagine how awesome that would have been in the movie theater. If you're just watching it, like, because when you're watching the preview, you're like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. Like, is he going to catch the side of the cliff, or what's he going to do?
Oh, okay. Now, when you say it like that, yes, I do think that actually would have been cool. However, being a huge fan, like I am, I've watched all of them. I actually own them. I have to say that, yes, it would have been cool to do this, but at the same time, like, seeing this with Paul Walker only being a part of this, it makes it just like, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm actually really happy. They showed a little bit more with the other cars, you know. And they actually seem to have a pretty star-studded cast. I'm very surprised about it. I know, random.
80s. And then Jason Statham.
Did not see that.
He should have been in there the whole time.
I know. Well, okay, so does the other, I'm a little bit confused because from the last one, I didn't think that guy died, the brother, because now I guess he's coming in as a brother.
Is that 6?
Yes.
I haven't seen 6.
Oh, yes, but if you haven't watched the other one, then I don't want to give anything away, and you should probably just watch it instead of looking it up on your phone, because you're probably going to ruin something for yourself right now. Just letting you know.
What would I ruin? This is Nerd Talk. This is me and Melissa talking about all the things we want to talk about. Well, basically, I guess the idea came from we already have arguments and fights and debates about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And in public, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, for example, at the gym.
Yeah, a lot of people actually they get involved in our conversations. Like, we start, and then what we notice is over a little bit of, apparently a lot of hand motions and things like that. People kind of get excited. They come over, what are you guys talking about? And now with all these movies coming out, Marvel, DC, Batman, Superman, everyone is actually becoming more involved with it. And it's not just like a comic book thing. Now it's actually becoming more of a worldwide phenomenon as far as it's opening up doors for other people to be able to watch that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of just reading the comic books.
Yeah, and so my beef with the whole thing, or I guess I shouldn't say beef, what I found interesting was that when people, I don't know how they are, I think I know how they are when they usually meet you and when they meet me, or they hear us talking and we're having like a debate or argument about Iron Man or the psyche of Superman. Well, like at the gym, I've seen it literally where we'll be on the treadmill or elliptical or whatever, and we'll be having a heated debate about something we just saw or some topic of some kind. And people walk by and we're like, man, Iron Man wouldn't do that, or Superman, or this or that, and they look like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And they're like, before I got married, Melissa is my sister-in-law, and when I was single, I actually lost dates because women found out I was a nerd.
Really?
They're like, oh, so they get to talking to me like, oh, you're cute, or I like you, or whatever, and I get to having a conversation with them, and it ends up kind of circling back to Batman somehow.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what Batman would do.
What?
And they're like, oh.
Mine's actually the opposite. I will say when people guys initially, because I actually have a bookshelf that has comic books. I love comic books. And I love the movies. If you look at my movie collection, a lot of people, when they first come in there, they were like, does the guy live here? And I'm like, no, it's my stuff. And they're like, oh, okay. But then actually after a while, they start talking to me and they realize, oh my gosh, you really love that stuff? I was like, absolutely. It's very interesting. And it actually gets guys to kind of talk to me more. But I think it does depend on the guy. I think if a guy's, like, if he's just looking, he's a little bit, this sounds bad, but shallow, and all he wants is, like, just to aesthetically, like, look, then he's not going to find that interesting. But anybody else, for the most part, they're like, hey, I think that's really cool, or I get kind of teased because I get so excited about it, but not in like a bad way. They're actually like, that's pretty cool.
I think that probably works out more in your favor than mine. I mean, I'm married now, so I mean, it doesn't even matter. I'm not picking up women. I think like, oh, you're a nerd. I'm like, that doesn't mean that I'm only about one thing. I'm like, I like a lot of other stuff too. I like NBA. I can have a whole thing about the NBA and how Kobe Bryant is the best player since Michael Jordan. There's no debate about that. He's got 5 rings. There's a lot of other things I like to talk about, but again, it just happens to be a lot about science fiction.
Yeah, I love it.
Comic books.
I love science fiction, love comic books. I love Lord of the Rings, one of my favorite movies of all times.
Yeah.
So good.
So we didn't want it just to be about superheroes. Like we'll talk about Lord of the Rings and other stuff like
Star Wars, Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Oh, the big debate between whether Star Wars, like why. I personally don't understand. This is a little bit off track. Why it's such a big deal. Star Trek people don't like Star Wars people, and Star Wars people don't like Star Trek people. And apparently, for the most part, you can't mesh them. I actually love both. I think they're both fantastic and fun, and they're both set in space.
I don't know why that is. Why would they not like?
I don't know.
I didn't know that.
If you do, I mean, like obviously it's not for everyone, but if you talk to a lot of people, like even people at Comic-Con and stuff like that, they're very adamant about one likes one set and then another likes the other ones, and they don't really like mix them.
I think it's weird that J.J. Abrams got both big Star movies.
I think
it's weird.
Really, I think it's kind of awesome. Like I said, I think people need to kind of mesh it together a little bit more.
You don't think that it's gonna get kind of repetitive? Like maybe. I mean, not that I don't have a problem with J.J. Abrams. I think I like the Star Trek movies.
So good.
A lot. I think it's strange that he got both movies. I wonder if that. I'm sure somebody had that discussion.
Probably.
Like, I mean, you really want to take on those 2 epic movies?
That's what I'm
and possibly mess it up?
I mean, there's a huge example of that everyone, they're confused. Even talking to my brother, he's a huge Star Trek fan. He likes the older Star Wars, but still not the biggest fan. He was very upset when J.J. Abrams went to Star Wars, which...
Was it because he had already did Star Trek?
Yeah.
Did he like Star Trek?
Yes, he did. Like, obviously, he's a huge William Shatner, and he loves, Leonard Nimoy and all of the older cast. And don't want to forget Next Gen. Love me some Patrick Stewart. But he's more... Oh my gosh,
How do you get epic movies? I'm so no. Star Trek.
Yeah, and then
the X-Men.
Yes.
I have no idea what to expect for Star Wars.
I don't
really
either.
have no idea what to expect. I have no idea. I just think that I've heard rumors that Luke is a Sith because he was wearing black and then the Return of the Jedi. And people never seem to realize this. Where I always point out, they're like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, he had on all black when he was going to get Han Solo, and he choked the pig. And Jedi,
I remember that.
They'll do that.
I do remember that.
So I think he was already going in that direction, and I think he's going to end up being the villain. And then I hear Han and Leia's kid is going to be a Jedi, and I think it's a girl.
I hope it is. It'd be a nice little change up,
So, yeah, again, we both do other things, and we want to talk about the stuff we like to talk about, and hopefully people like it and watch.
And comment. Yes. Give us your opinions, man. Like, when we talk and stuff like that, by all means, I would love to hear that I'm right and that he is wrong. Or if you have something else that, you want to share with us, that, like, your version, by all means, put it in there. I like that kind of stuff.
Yes. So, yeah, I guess that's it. And if you like the video, subscribe to the channel Sky Sound. There'll be a lot more things on there than just this. There'll be music videos, diary stuff, behind-the-scenes stuff that we do with Melissa as well. You can go to the website. I'll put the link in the comments section or in the description. I mean, you can go to the website, look at the hairstyles and stuff that she does, and videos and music that I do. So, thank you. Bye.
Make it fast.
And hit the lever down to the Bat Cave. Sky Bruce Wayne got it made.